Well, for all the dumb things that I've been critical about Trump doing, sometimes he knocks one out the park. Hey there friends, welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm of course Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. Have you gotten over yesterday's video yet? Do you need some water or some cream to put on your backside? Some of you do, I promise you that. Maybe this video will cheer you up a little bit today. The Democrat-led government shutdown just exposed how far left and clueless their priorities have become. While millions of American families, especially low-income mothers and their children, were staring down the barrel of losing critical WIC benefits, the Democrats were hell-bent on holding government funding hostage. Why, you might ask? Because they want your tax dollars to pay health subsidies and beefed-up benefits, not for Americans, for illegal aliens, and it's absolutely ridiculous and downright disgusting. Yeah, see, they were willing to have all of you dummies out there who vote for them, who get all your free stuff. They were willing to have your kids go to bed hungry. They were willing to have your fat ass go to bed hungry just so they could die on this hill to feed the fat asses of the illegal aliens in this country. Not you. You weren't what they were fighting for all along. It was illegal aliens. Why? Because they know that at some point, you people, you dumbasses who keep voting for them, will wise up and stop voting for them. So they need dumber people who can't speak English. Why do you think they don't want them to speak English? They don't want them to be able to understand what we're saying. So they wanted to flood our country with illegal aliens to replace you people. But let's set the record straight. Donald Trump didn't roll over while Democrat politicians played games with America's food security. He stepped up and ensured that programs like WIC, which helps over 6 million moms and their kids with food, kept rolling. He did not allow that to shut down. Donald Trump could have easily allowed the shutdown to affect these mothers, have their kids' bellies grumbling as they went to bed, and he could have easily blamed that on the Democrats because they're the holdup here. Real quick side note, did you know that the CR that the Democrats don't want to vote for now is the same one, literally the same one that they voted for the last few times whenever there's the same shutdown threat of the federal government and then the Republicans were the bad guys. This is literally the same one that the Democrats always voted for, and now they don't like it. While these Democrats were demanding benefits for illegal aliens who broke America's laws to get into this country illegally, Trump was using emergency funds and creative solutions to make sure actual citizens were not punished for the Democrat stupidity. As funding hit crisis level, Trump's administration scrambled to protect families, cut through the budget nonsense, and put American families first. Folks, that's actually real leadership. And that's what's needed in this country. Again, I have had my problems with Trump regarding the Second Amendment. I still don't think and believe in any kind of way that he supports the Second Amendment like he says he does. And it's because I don't think he understands the gun culture. I think he believes a lot of what those mid-level pro-gun people are in his cabinet. People who don't understand how we think, I guess is what I'm saying. People who think that the Second Amendment is about hunting. Those are the people that Donald Trump listens to. He doesn't listen to us. It's not that he's asking us, but he's not getting his intel from us. He's getting it from those, oh, I own camouflage pants, so I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment, unfortunately. But you know where his leadership qualities came, and I'm not trying to put Trump up on a pedestal. Again, you know my thoughts on him in the past. But you know where a glimmer of leadership really shined through in all of this regarding Trump? Do you know how he's funding these WIC benefits, which, by the way, nobody's talking about? The government has been shut down for 8 days, and nobody is talking about how ain't a single mom and their kid going hungry right now. Nobody's talking about that. But do you know how the genius, if you want to use that word, let me not use that word because I don't think Trump is an actual genius. but he's definitely a leader, and he's a smart one, or at least a clever one. Do you know how he's funding that? It's not with the money that they stole from us. I'm talking about tax dollars. No, he's actually funding this WIC program to feed these hungry babies and kids and their mothers, low-income families. He's doing this with the tariff money that he's been socking away, that he's been collecting from all the other countries across the world. Did you know that? He's literally using money on the tariff program that he's been getting beat up on to feed American families during this Democrat shutdown. Whether that's his idea or not, that's a hell of a clever way to take care of American people, in spite of what the Democrats want, which is to take care of illegal, alien, non-Americans. Again, folks, that is real leadership, while Democrats push to keep the government shut down until they could sneak more freebies in for illegal aliens. So Democrats refuse to fund these same federal programs that Donald Trump is funding with tariff money unless their all-access pass for illegals was rubber stamped. Meanwhile, millions of working moms, legal citizens, and I want to repeat, legal citizens, and their children were seconds away from losing access to basic food. Not because of Republican cuts, but because Democrats decided illegal aliens and their benefits were more important than supporting the American people. Sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around how tone deaf, reckless, and stupid the Democrats can be sometimes, dying on the hill of these low return efforts. In other words, 80 to 90% of the country supports exactly what I'm saying regarding illegal aliens. 80 to 90% of the country doesn't, this is proven nationwide. They don't want to pay for illegal aliens to receive taxpayer-funded freebies. Yet the Democrats will die on this hill every single time, over 10 to 20% of the country wanting these things. How stupid is that? I don't even know how to quantify how stupid that is, because my brain, even in an absolute drunken stupor, has never thought as stupid as that before. I mean, the Democrat shutdown endangered WIC, SNAP, and other vital programs that many of their own constituents are the ones who flood these same areas that require those government-funded subsidies. Now, we gonna learn something today. My hope here is that every single day when you watch one of my videos, you leave from watching it having learned at least one thing. Check this out. 2025 federal spending on welfare programs. This is the kind of money that Donald Trump is using that tariff money for, to pay for these government welfare programs. Now, I'm not a big supporter of welfare programs, but I do know there are some people who need these things. Not the amount of people that you see here, but there are some people who do need them. You see, we've got the SNAP program, which is food stamps, your Medicaid, and then your Social Security. Now, these are all government-funded programs. When I say government-funded, let's not forget, the government doesn't have any money. The government doesn't make anything. They don't sell anything. They don't produce anything other than a hard time. Everything that they spend is something they stole from us. They taxed from us. They took from us. So all of the money that you're looking at here is your money and my money. And let's not forget, a lot of these people getting these same welfare programs don't put into this system. Yeah, I know whenever they say, oh, I have to file for taxes every year. No, let me explain something to you. If you get back equal to or more than what you put in, you're not putting in. Do you understand? If you put in $5 and you get $5, you put 0 in. 5 minus 5 is 0. If you put in $5 and you receive $10, you did not put in. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. So that means that you got 5 more than you put in. So please miss me with the whole, I gotta file taxes just like you do. No, it's not the same. I want to see what the net result is at the end of the year, and then I'll tell you if you put in or not. But look at these numbers in billions. This is unbelievable. I mean, I thought the food stamp program was a much bigger program. These other ones, now granted, Social Security, let's let's understand Social Security. You're going to have retirees. You're going to have disabled people. So I understand the Social Security numbers. I mean, it should be that high, right? Or I shouldn't say it should be that high. It should be higher than everything else. But these, again, folks, are billions of dollars. I want you to look at that. $100 billion in food stamps. That's incredible. I had no idea we were paying that much money in food stamps. And Trump's paying, he's footing the bill with his tariff money right now. But this next chart is one of my favorites, or probably my least favorite, because it enrages me when I look at it. You know, we talk about people who should not receive welfare benefits. The kind of people I'm talking about, it's not disabled people. It's not people who are mentally disabled or physically disabled. That's not the kind of people I'm talking about. There are people, and I'm talking about the person who overeats and to the point where they're disgustingly fat, so now they can't move and now they're, disabled now. I'm not talking about those either. But there are a lot of people like me, and I'm actually carrying some extra weight right now, but a lot of people like me who are what I would consider okay up here, maybe a little cuckoo like me, but you can function in society and you can do things with your body. What's that called? Able-bodied. You want to know how many able-bodied people we have not in the workforce? Who, there's jobs available, who could be working but choose to sit their punk asses on the couch, eat Cheetos, play video games, and watch TV all day. This is going to piss you off. Able-bodied welfare recipients in 2025. Look at those numbers in millions. Those are people. That's the amount of people in these programs. In that SNAP program, look at that. That's about 13 million people receiving food benefits who are able-bodied, who do not work. Maybe they bring in a little part-time money, do a little money on work on the side, but they're not working to their full ability. They're able-bodied, and they choose not to. They choose to take the free government cheese instead. Look at the Medicaid program. About 35, let's just call it, be fair, 34 million people on Medicaid in this country. And again, I don't put a whole lot of weight into the Social Security because you're going to have disabled people. They're not saying that's okay, because I know people can't wait to be disabled sometimes to get on that. Let me tell you a quick story. And I'm not going to tell you the guy's name, and I hope he doesn't watch these videos because I don't want him to think that I share his story. But there's this guy's story who it's stuck in my brain for over 10 years now. You guys know that I build high-end custom swimming pools. Swimming pools, kind of hard, easy for you to say, right? So I work with a higher-end clientele on a regular basis. There's this one physician here in town, and he's a good dude. When I met him, I was like, this is a good guy. We've become friends. This guy's an oncologist, cancer doctor. And I remember about halfway through building the pool, this guy come across as such a nice guy, friendly, just a genuinely good person. Not saying that an oncologist, that I assume they're bad people, but an upbeat, positive person. You know what I mean? Let's face it, a cancer doctor. I think there's reasons for it, but not a whole lot of success stories. And I asked him one day, I said, and I called him by his name, I said, I got to ask you something, man. Why oncology? I just got to know, why oncology? He goes, what do you mean? I said, why that field? As smart as you are, you could have been a physician in any kind of field that you wanted to and been super successful at it. I know this. I just see how you work, see how you operate, I see how you raise your family, I see your home, I see what you do. I know people who work for you. I built for some of his employees. He says, you're a good dude, man. Why? This story will forever live in my mind, speaking of Social Security, speaking of disability. He did his, residency at Loyola University, Tulane, I think it was. Tulane in New Orleans, Louisiana, here in the state of Louisiana. So he said he did his residency down there, and this older black man came in. Said, early onset, didn't quite have diabetes yet. And he said, all right, well, I'm going to give you a prescription for this medicine, whatever. Take your medication. Come back to me in 6 months. And let's see how the meds do. Guy came back and he was worse. And my friend was like, how are you worse? I gave you all those prescriptions. I mean, that's supposed to, I mean, you didn't have diabetes. And you don't have it now, but you're on the verge of having it. How are you worse off? He goes, oh, I didn't take that medication. He goes, you didn't take it? He goes, no, I can't afford that medication. So my friend was like, okay. So he says, I disappear. I come back with just an armload of samples. Just an armload. Would have cost that guy $0. He said, here. Boom. Gives him all the meds. Free meds. Come back to me in 6 months. You're going to be better. Here's your meds. Came back 6 months later, pretty much had diabetes by then. And my friend was like, dude, what's the deal here? You practically have diabetes now. Did you take the meds that I gave you? He goes, no, I didn't take them. And my friend was like, why? I gave them to you. They were free. This story almost haunts me whenever I hear this. The disappointment in humankind sometimes. He said, if I get diabetes, I can go on disability. My friend said he looked at that guy and he couldn't believe what he was hearing. He gave this guy what he needed to help him to live longer and to live a healthier life. And this dude refused it because he was so lazy that he wanted to get worse so that he would have the excuse to go on disability. My friend told me when that happened, I realized that in oncology, which he chose, people will listen to you. People are on death's doorstep when you have cancer, regardless of whatever stage it is. You start thinking of things in life that you need to do better, do different, changes you have to make. And the one thing people do is they do listen to their doctor when they're dying of cancer. And that's why he chose oncology. That story will forever live with me because it's fascinating to know that the human mind can function like that in today's day and time, right? So there is a portion of that little green sliver down there on the bottom right that has that guy from New Orleans in it who choose to get worse and go on disability. That's why I don't argue all the time when people say they're disabled. Some people are not disabled and they're on disability. Some people are, but they chose to get worse and be on disability. So similar to that first slide that showed you how much money we were spending on these welfare programs, this is the actual number of people on those welfare programs. 42 million people are the ones that are using that SNAP benefit that I mentioned earlier. But you want to see what the Democrats are fighting for? Now, the chart I'm about to show you is what we're paying now for illegal aliens. The Democrats want more than this. This is U.S. spending on illegal aliens. I don't call them immigrants, even though I put these charts together. I call them illegal aliens. Look at the direct welfare. About 12 to 12.5 million dollars spent on welfare. Emergency medical care, that's the ones that they claim come into the emergency room bloodied. Well, you know, you shouldn't have come here to begin with, so I shouldn't be seeing you in this emergency room all bloodied up. Education and child nutrition, and then other state and local programs. So at this point, I got to give Trump the credit that he deserves on this. You know, the fact that nobody will give him credit, and I don't even hear mainstream center to right people talking about this. I think Trump should get credit for this. I think Trump should, look, I'm not saying Trump makes every good or even bad decision in his administration. That's why you hire a cabinet full of people. But he had to have signed off on this. I mean, that tariff money, that's his pride and joy right now. He brags about how much money he's bringing in on tariffs. So he's not just giving that away willy-nilly. Even if somebody else said, hey, Mr. Trump, I think we need to use this money to cover for these programs for other people. He had to agree to that. So he deserves credit at some point along the way with this. And I think that's admirable. I think the fact that he's not only doing this, and surprisingly, he's not standing in front of cameras saying, look what I did. I mean, Trump's known for that. Trump has an ego like a lot of people do and like every politician does. So I expect him to take credit when he has it coming to him. But I don't see him standing up there bragging about this. This, I think, is a true indicator that Trump truly does when he sits down and thinks about it. And this may have something to do with his wife being in his ear too, you know, and I don't mean that in an ugly way. But this, to me, shows me that when he really thinks down on these issues and makes it a personal issue with these people, he can sympathize with them. And he realizes, even being a billionaire like he is, I don't want these kids going to bed hungry at night. I don't want these moms worrying about how they're going to feed their kids. And let's face it, it's a lot of, you know, single parent homes, and the vast majority of them, statistical fact, or the mom, dad's nowhere to be found. So that is an actual fact. So I think this is a feather in the cap that Trump should get. And I think it's a damn shame that nobody is talking about this. And of all people, again, I've been critical of Trump doing things before. Of all people, here I am, tooting his horn, giving him credit. But he deserves it in this case. Guys, if you liked the video, please hit that like button. Please comment down below. Do you think I'm being too nice here? Do you think Trump deserves the credit in this case? Do you think he's doing the wrong thing? Do you think that tariff money should be going towards these benefits, towards these families? And does it piss you off as much as it does me that we're paying for benefits for all these frickin' able-bodied people who are too lazy to get off their damn couches and get a job? I don't care if you think I'm wrong. I'm sticking to my idea. That's a freaking shame. I will never be okay with an able-bodied person sitting on their ass and my tax dollars are feeding them. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was